Welcome to Ray Rivers Gaming, and I just recently picked up a new game called Total War Arena. It's just out of open beta, and instead of I've had it for a couple days now, and playing a little bit. So instead of giving you a first impressions, what I thought is I would um, give you a what the heck is going on here, because this game is a little bit different than what probably most folks um, have seen, and that's I'll let you make your own impression about the game and whether you want to try it or not. It's free to play. All you have to do is download it, and then you can play it for yourself. It's free to play, so that'll be up to you. So my first part, in the first part of this video, what I'm going to be doing is talking about the interface leading up to battle, and in the second part I will fight a battle and talk about what happens with rewards and stuff like this. Now, um, this game, of course, it's Total War Arena, so you would expect it to be have a total war component, and indeed it does. It's when you get into the gameplay, you're going to be with your troops on the battlefield, fighting with other people. 10 versus 10 is the normal game, and each player is going to be responsible for 3 squads, as you can see down below here. 3 squads of infantry, and as are represented here in the background. Now, when you first get the game,
Servant of the Republic.
okay, you'll see that there are various empires represented, and what happens is that each faction has a number of different generals. All right, and you can open these generals. You can unlock these generals with either free XP or with gold. And what I did was I invested a little bit of money. It's a new game, so okay, I'll give them some money. And I went ahead and I opened one of the generals. But for the Roman Empire, you get to start off with Germanicus. And for the barbarians, here you have, I'm not going to even try to say some of these names and stuff, because all I'm going to do is make, I'm just going to butcher them. So anyway, you have a barbarian leader and a couple very famous other ones that you can open. And then, let's see, Greece has one. Carthage doesn't have any that are free to play. So you're going to have to grind or use gold to open up those commanders. Now, why are these commanders interesting is because what they do is they have each commander has a series of perks, if you will, called abilities in the game. Now, here we go. Let's go to Greece. Now, in Greece, you start off with her.
Chosen of
Okay.
Artemis.
And you can see that she has a perk here, which is called Rapid Advance. So it tells you the cooldown time is 60 seconds and duration for 10 seconds. So you can make any of her units use this capability whenever you want, and then it recycles, and then you can use it again. And as you notice, as you can see here, faster acceleration, running, and speed. And then there are 2 more perks that she has, and one is Hunt, which is mark and track an enemy unit, missile infantry and cavalry, and the other is Barrage, so lightning fast reload speed. So again, most of these perks or abilities, as they call them in the game, are to help more missile kind of oriented army. Other commanders will have other perks, and that's what makes the generals at least somewhat interesting, is because they all have different perks. And if I go ahead to Alexander the Great,
Alexander of Macedon.
who I bought with gold. Okay, you see here he has a thing called a hammer. Okay, and that's it's a basically it's a buff to your charge, and you do you move faster and you cause more impact damage. Okay, and when so there's 3 of these that each general can get, but they are based on their level. Okay, their level. Now all the commanders, let's go back to the Germanicus.
Consul of Rome.
They start at level 1 with nothing in here. Okay, and then as you fight the battles, he gets more and more XP until he gets to a second level, or he gets to the next level. And once he gets to the next level, then units which serve for Germanicus are available to be bought. So imagine, this game really is a hybrid, right? It's a hybrid between Total War and Wargaming.net, okay? And they like a lot of grindy kind of things, and they like to have tech trees and stuff like this, and consumables and perks and all this. And this is you see all of this from the Wargaming side, and how they've actually put this game together. For example, they have all kinds of little things that you think are not, that are important, but it depends on how you want to play. For example, you notice that he has a 30% bonus here for having varied units in your squad. So I have 2 swordsman units and 1 javelin man. Okay, but if I was to put another javelin in the place of that, another spearman in the place of that javelin, then I lose that perk. Now notice that immediately shows me the tech tree for that unit. And what you can see is, like most of the games in Wargaming.net, like World of Tanks or World of Warships, whatever, you have at each level, a unit has certain sub-characteristics which have to be earned first, and then you can move to the next level. To earn these subcategories, you use battle XP, okay, or unit XP as it calls here. When you fight a battle, we'll see this afterwards, your unit will earn so much XP, and you can use that XP to buy the subcategories of that unit, and then if you have enough, you can actually buy the next level, given that your command level is able to support it. And this is where it's kind of different than a lot of other games
Servant of the Republic.
from the Wargaming.net, is because they connect both the units to your leader. So your leader, as you can see, like I was saying, he is gaining XP. So as long as he is at tier 1, he cannot buy any tier 2 units. He has to get to tier 2 before he can buy tier 2 units. Going to Greece, here is Alexander the Great. Now, Alexander the Great, as you can see, I have got him up to tier 2. All right? And he's using 3 units of phalangites, or hoplites as they're called here. And you notice I haven't ground the subcategories yet. However, for example, his Karas, or whatever you want to call it here, I could buy it with what they call free XP. So above you have free XP, which you earn in each battle. You have silver and you have gold. So you can also buy this with free XP. But the unit here has 948 unit XP. If I want to, I just grind him out until he's up to 1,400, and then I'll be able to buy that, and that will become part of that unit's characteristics. As you can see from this tier 2 unit, he has 2 branches. Okay, he's a heavy infantryman, and if you go this direction, you go into a cavalry tier, and if you go in this direction, you have you continue on the hoplite tree. So let's take a look at another thing worth mentioning is that in tier 1 you don't have this, but once you get into tier 2, then you also can add consumables to the regiment. So let's click on that. All right, now as you can see here, we have a whole bunch of consumables, and you can buy them with either silver or with gold. Like I said, it's free to play. If you want to use silver, you can use silver. That doesn't cost you nothing. Restock automatically. Just click the thing here. But let's click on that. Okay. So this is double rations 2. It gives you a +6 weapon damage and +1 to your morale. So you buy that, and it comes down here. And then when you're in battle, when you actually get into a fight and you need it, then you can click on that consumable, and then for a certain amount of time you will get these advantages, and then it will stop. Okay, and that will be the end of that. Okay, there are 2 types of perks that they have actually. These consumables. They have consumables that help you, and they have consumables that hurt the enemy. So, for example, let's see here. I see this one. This one gives a melee defense of +75, but it affects all allied units. Okay, within 20 meters. If you look at the very bottom, it says within 20 meters. So this buffs other units who are around you. Okay, and I believe there's also. Let me see, is there? There are also. See this temporary increases the morale of nearby units. Okay. There are also consumables which actually are debuffs to the enemy, so that you can affect his morale, for example, if you use the consumable. So you can see it's a little bit different than Total War in how it's actually going to play out. And you can see this unit also has a little thing here that's called Hoplite Phalanx, and when you turn that on, the guys are considered to be in a phalanx formation, and this is a trait of this unit, and most of the units have different traits. But once they do that, okay, anything that runs into that phalanx will take damage, whether it's your own people, your own units, or the enemy. Doesn't matter. If you guys are in a phalanx, it's going to do damage. So you have to be careful with that. You can turn it on at the right moment, and then when you don't need it, you need to turn it off by clicking on it again, so that you don't do damage. So a lot of times here in this game you can do a lot of friendly fire kind of stuff. Now, up here, it's interesting. You see here, this is the description up here. Here's the equipment, the general stats. Okay, it shows the consumables we took a look at. Okay, and here you go, cosmetics. Now, this is when the gold comes into play. Gold can be used to add cosmetics to your unit, and if I was to buy this shield design, then it would of course appear on the unit. It costs 450 gold. Gold, therefore, you can use gold. As we've seen, we can use it for aesthetics. We can use it for consumables. We can we can use it to open up commanders, and they also have a system of premium time that you can buy premium time as well to get your XP and everything faster. Alright, so having talked
I am
a
Alexander.
little bit about that, let's take a look at some of the tech trees. So go to the tech trees, and there you go. You know, if you're used to, if you played World of Tanks or World of Warships, this is not a surprise to you, okay? You have 1 through 10 technology, and as you go through the tiers, the units become better and better and better. Okay, you start out with the free generals with 2 units. In this case, they were hoplites and archers, and as you earn first their command level, then you can buy units from the appropriate tier. They also, of course, have these are premium units, and once again, this goes back to gold. Anybody who has ever played, if you've ever played World of Tanks or World of Warships or any of these things, all of this, you're going to say, "Oh, I know how that. I've seen that before." And this is the wargaming.net. They're part of the hybrid nature of this game that they've put into this game. Of course, as they get better, they look better. I don't know if I can actually see what this guy looks like. No, it won't show you what he looks like. Get a little bit of a picture here. But you see how much the prices go up. A lot more consumables. I have a feeling also, though I don't know, I can't experience it yet. But I think that as you go up in tiers, you're probably going to get a lot more consumable slots, because when I'm looking down here and I'm seeing all these consumables, okay, all these boxes, that means I can fill them in if I want. And also with the consumables is you buy them per unit. So if I buy a consumable here, it's going to be for a specific unit. So you can end up buying a lot of consumables, and it can cost a lot of money. Another thing, just right off the top of my head, is that you have 3 units that you're going to be playing the game with, and you yourself are always in the first unit. So if you die, if you get killed, okay, then that's going to affect the morale of all 3 of your units. Each player gets 3 units, and you get yourself killed, and that's going to affect your units adversely. Now, as you can see here, one of the reasons that I picked Alexander the Great is because of the cavalry. So they have different branches here, right? And these are pikemen up here, and these are spears, hoplites, and so forth. These are archers, and then these are slingers, which I understand actually throw their weapon, their rock or what have you. I'm not sure what it was. They can actually throw it farther than an archer, so that's not bad, eh? I think, I'm not sure, but I was watching a video, I believe I saw that. So the thing about again, going back to the different generals, is that they basically have the same kind of setup within the same empire, if you will. So if I go to her, okay, she's also tier 2, and what you see is she essentially has the same. She'll have, I'm not sure, is that she's Spartan hoplites there at tier 6. Let's see here, does she have Spartan hoplites? Yeah, so they all have the same premium units for the Greek faction. However, if you go to another faction, let's take a look at Germanicus here. Okay, and now all of a sudden, the tech trees start changing. Once again, they have their own proper premium units, and they have somewhat different tech trees. And in this case, you see up here is your heavy infantryman, and he goes all the way, 1 through 10, heavy infantry, and then you can break off, and there's I guess more difficult infantrymen there. Here are these guys are javelin men. You can take them all the way through. So they don't have archers; they have javelin men. And the cool thing, what I understand from that, for the Roman Empire, is that they get artillery. In this case, catapults and so forth. The game is, like I say, is still in open beta, and there's been a lot of talk. I've seen a lot of talk about people saying that the artillery is a little bit OP. Still needs some balancing, but what I wanted to show you with these tech trees is that they are different for each empire. Okay, now I haven't opened. Here we go. Now you see here is the Carthaginian tech tree, and although it's not very big, okay, look at what they got right here. Elephants. Okay, they have elephants, which shouldn't be too much of a surprise. And they have their own appropriate premium units. I saw this last weekend. They had some premium. I had a premium elephant unit that was on sale as well. So again, like I say, when it comes to the armies, they have different tier types based on their empire, and they have different skills based on
Alexander the Great.
on the actual commander. Okay, and these are called abilities. So let's see. Okay, so you see here, here's the abilities. Okay, and they provide a nice information thing here, and they talk about the commander. Same thing as with the units themselves. You click on the unit and you'll get also a information screen. If you're not really a ancient history buff, that's cool for to learn a little bit about the ancient history and so forth. Now let me see here. Now the commanders. See?
Spears!
Touching it, and then you can see the different things there. Now,
I am Alexander.
the next thing I wanted to show you was that they not only have tech trees, but they this is army tech trees, but they also have the ability tech trees. So remember here down here, his first ability at tier 1 is called the hammer. Get greater movement speed, acceleration, and impact damage. Okay, so then we go to the abilities, and now the army commander himself also has tech trees. Has a tech tree, So here we go. Here's the hammer, and then I'm tier 2, so I bought this this buff. Okay, so it's only an increase of +1 movement speed. Okay, but as you going through the tiers, it all starts adding up, and when I get to tier 3, then I will be able to bring the anvil. Okay. And what the anvil does is it's kind of like a debuff to the enemy, and meaning that it kind of holds them in place, and as you see there, it says all that red is to the enemy units. So it deflects charge by 20%, minus 15% melee defense, and movement speed minus 80%. So that means that once you've got somebody locked into combat, it's going to be really hard for them to get out of that. So that's why it's called Anvil. And then as you go through, that can be, again, it's limited in time and duration that you can use a perk. And then it cycles through, and then it becomes available again. So, and then once again, then you can keep pumping up different aspects. You see -4 recharge time as he gets through the levels. So this is interesting in that there's actually 3 things that you are grinding as you play this game. The first thing that you're grinding is you're grinding the commander level. Okay, that's the first important thing. You have to get him. When you start off, you have to get him from tier 1 to tier 2 to open not only the abilities, but also the army units. Okay, so you're grinding first the general, and then you're grinding to get to the units that are available and the abilities that are available. All right. So let's see here. See, speed. So I could buy that. What's this? Yeah, see, 134. I got plenty. I'll go ahead and let's see. I'll buy that. Okay. 2 of 3. It says 2 of 3. Okay. So it's obviously more than that. So it looks. So I got. So actually, there was 3 levels there. You see, I'm still really early in the game, and so there. Look at that. Now I've got a +3 % movement speed by hitting that thing 3 times. Okay. All right. Now let's go back to my
Alexander
armies.
of Macedon.
Up here we see your level. I am at stage 5, level 5. I believe the game that I'm most familiar with as far as wargaming is their World of Warships, and you have a commander level, and as you go up in commander level, it unlocks things. In this case, it gives you little goodies and so forth. When I unlocked tier 5 of myself as a player, I got 30 pieces of gold. So it gives you little goodies for XP and so forth. And here's another very interesting what would you call it? A feature of the game. Okay, so I'm a tier 2 commander, right? And I've got these tier 2 units. All right. Now let's say that I want to go play with the tier 1 Bubbas, because I know how to play the game really well. Okay, so notice up here, okay, I go to tier 1, okay, and notice here's the tier 1 troops, okay, and notice it says for free. So I mean, I can take and I can replace all of these guys, and it's free. So I just put him right there. Okay. Okay. So now I'm in tier 1. Okay, and I can put all tier 1 in there if I want, and they're free. But guess what? Okay, unlike World of Warships, for example, where you have to buy a port for every ship, in this game, if I then want to return to that tier 2 unit, it's going to cost me money. So, okay, so I'm going to go back to 3 hoplite of tier 2, and it's going to cost me 200. Okay, so that's going to come down by 200. So let's see here. So I put that in there. Boing, and you see there I lost 200. So what I would imagine the way they set this up is so that if you've been grinding a general, and you're up to tier 5, 6, 7, 8, and then you want to go and do some stomping on some new players and go and put tier 1 troops in your army. When it comes time to going back to grinding for the next level, okay, let's say you're tier 7 and you want to go back and you want to get those tier 7 troops back, I have a feeling it's going to cost a lot more than 200 silver to go from a tier 1 unit to a tier 7 unit. So I think that was added. I think that's a nice little touch in there, giving a penalty to people so that they don't do a lot of I'm going to go and bash the new guys just to have a laugh kind of thing. That's an interesting change to the way wargaming has fit out this game. All right, so let's go back to the commanders.
Alexander the Great.
Well, I think that pretty much. Oh, down here is a chat box. Okay, and there's a party chat and a lobby chat. I have no idea how these work, and I know you can play together with other people, but I'm not sure how you do that yet. There's a social thing up here. Okay. See, it looks like a plus 2 if I'm with a party. So obviously, you get friends, you invite friends into your party, and then you can play together. I'm not sure how many can play together at one time. I doubt if it's more than 3 or 4, as with most of the wargaming.net games. So, let's see, let's close that out. So there you go. I think that pretty much covers how the game is actually set up functionally before you actually get into battle. You have 3 things you've got to grind. You've got to grind your generals. You've got to their levels. You've got to grind their abilities, and you've got to grind for units. Just like wargaming, the units have consumables. It's pretty straightforward kind of thing. When you first get the game, you have to play your first 10 games in against an AI. Okay, so you click down on here, and there you go. Play versus AI, play versus humans. Now, so far, I've only played. I just made it up to tier 2 basically, and I've just been playing against the AI, which can be a bit of a laugh sometimes. But I know that there are things that I need to get better at, and how I use my troops, how I make formation orders, and so forth. So I want to practice on that still a little bit more. I've only had the game for a couple days before I go into a human versus human, because they are going to be totally unforgiving if you make mistakes.
Alexander of Macedon.
So I think that pretty much covers the under the hood, how the actual system and the grind of the game works, and we'll call it a day for this part 1 of what the heck is going on. And what we'll do is I will then make a game, and we will play a game so that you can actually see how the game plays, and then after the game we'll look at how the game scores and stats and a few things like that. So instead of putting us all together and having a really long video, I think this is a good place to call an end. And like I say, my first impression of the game really doesn't matter. What It's gonna be up to you. It's a free game. If you want to try it, go ahead, download it, try it. I'm just trying. All I want to do is I want to tell you this is basically how I understand how it works. So hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, see you later.